everyone. It is Mxiety, mental health advocate, Twitch partner, Streamloots partner, here for you for Streamloots Strong, a creator initiative meant to make sure that Streamloots is there for you every step of the way. So today we are talking about setting a streaming schedule. There's a ton of pressure out there to make sure that you stream every day for as many hours as possible. And some of us still have regular 9-to-5 jobs, and some of us just cannot do that due to mental health concerns or disabilities or just other barriers that prevent us from doing that. And we feel incredible pressure to keep up with a schedule that we can't. And then that's the straight road to burning out. So let's talk about what I do, how I maintain my schedule, and what you can do going forward to make sure that your schedule works with you. Stick around. All right, so the number one thing that I want to make sure we lay down as law here, if we're talking about schedules, if we're talking about streaming, make sure that when you set a schedule, you do not pressure yourself to stream every day. Nobody works 7 days a week, or nobody should. It is a straight road to burnout. It makes you frustrated. It makes you feel obligated. It makes this really fun thing, this whole point of, being your boss and being in charge of your schedule. It makes all of that kind of dissipate because you feel like you are obligated to be there 24/7 and completely not have time for yourself. But the truth is, number one, if you want to be a successful streamer, you also have to spend time promoting yourself. So if nothing else, you should be offline so that you can do that, blog posts, videos, TikToks, all those other things. So if nothing else, if you're like, I work really hard and I'm a workaholic and I can't stop working, if that's your whole MO and that's what you want to do, that's cool if you have the ability to do that. But don't forget, sometimes you need to be offline so that you can do offline things. For the rest of us, you need breaks. You do. And you need time off. You need the opportunity to regenerate. You need the opportunity to create new content, to think of new things to talk about on stream. If you are live, for even like 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, what are you talking about with people? What could you possibly be discussing for all of that time if you're not out there experiencing the world to talk to them about? Even if you're, watching other TV shows or podcasts, all of that keeps you interesting, keeps people coming back wondering, hey, what's your take on this or that? If you're just streaming all the time, you can't get access to that. And then the most important thing, and I allude to this because I know as somebody who's a workaholic myself, it's really, really hard to talk me into not working. So the other thing that I would like to say is make sure that you take a break, take some time to relax. There's a ton of research out there that proves that you actually do better, when you are anticipating a break, because you kind of feel like, oh, I'm gonna get all of my energy out, I'm gonna put my best out there so that I can take a break and I feel like I deserved that break and I can relax. That is the first thing. And the second thing is feeling like if you take a break, nothing will happen to your community as long as they're a kind and welcoming community. They're the kind of community that expects you to be on all of the time. Then you might want to reconsider who you're letting into your circle. Would you expect that from other people? How would you talk to a friend if they said, I am streaming 12 hours a day, I'm not getting anywhere, or I only have, X amount of viewers, or I have so many viewers, but I'm tired all the time and I'm cranky and and when I talk to my significant other or my family, I'm really mean to them. What would you say to them? How would you talk to them? Well, you'd probably be a little bit kinder. So maybe give that kindness to yourself. Consider, what would you tell a friend? Would you tell a friend, yeah, you gotta stream all the time? Or would you tell them, hey, you gotta take breaks and take care of yourself and make sure that, you're in good shape so that you can give people the best entertainment that they deserve. Number two thing is creating a live streaming schedule that makes sense to you. Do you have a disability that makes it so that you only have so many active days in a day? Do you have a lot of work to do? Or are you a freelancer and you kind of have to make your own schedule and work around that schedule consistently? Whatever it is, figuring out the days that you stream is integral to making sure that you can do this for a very long time. So what I do personally is I set up something called block scheduling. So I set up time for things that I know I cannot help but do throughout the day, right? So I need X amount of hours to complete freelance work. I need X amount of hours to complete research. I need X amount of hours to complete my work. And those are non-negotiables, right? Then after that, I set my schedule and I set my streaming schedule and say, these are the days that I know that I've put off, that I've promised my community I'll be there. And of course, everybody talks about it. Consistency is key, but having a warm and welcoming and kind community that accepts you for who you are and for what your needs are is also definitely helpful to having a little bit of a flexible schedule. So you curate and you put out there what you put in, right? So if you put out the vibe of like, hey, I can only be here these days and for this many hours, then that is the expectation you set for your community, and that is the expectation they go with, they go forward with, and that's okay. That is the boundary that you set, and that is okay. So what I do with that block schedule is I set out blocks of time that I'm like, this time I'm streaming, this time I'm not streaming, this time I literally have relaxation blocks in there. But the best part about all of these schedules is that you need to be flexible with yourself. And that is also the hardest part. So if you know that, blocks 1 and 2 of your work and your freelance have already taken up too much time and energy today, or maybe the time you've spent with your family has just been it's been too much and you've been overwhelmed, learning how to cut yourself a little bit of slack to be able to, maybe take some time from streaming, or say today is not the best day for me to stream because I'm already tired and I know I'm not going to be my best self. And if I'm not my best self, I'm going to beat myself up. And if I beat myself up, I am not going to be the best entertainer that I want to be. So in order to kind of be your best, you have to also make sure that you rest. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but I'm happy that it rhymes, and I almost instantly forgot it. But point is, make sure that you set up a schedule that works for you. As soon as it's a schedule that is outside of your bounds and outside of what you're used to, you're going to continually kind of feel like you're reaching after it, kind of like you're running after it to catch up with it. And that's not going to work in the long run, right? And we're here for the long game. So let us make sure, and we are here for the long run, right? We're here for the long term. So let's make sure that once we set, also it is a general rule. As soon as we make something that we just want to enjoy, or a hobby, into a rule or a schedule or into a rigid thing, we usually kind of stop enjoying it, no matter how passionate we were about it to begin with. The reason is just brains don't love obligation. So things that we enjoy doing, we can still do for a very long time out of obligation, absolutely. But wouldn't it be better to continue doing the thing that you love doing in the way that you love doing it? And again, if you set that expectation for your community, they'll be with you on the same page. So make sure to set that expectation with your community early on. Make sure to set a schedule in blocks that make sense to you, and make sure to be flexible with yourself. Moving right along. In your schedule, when you set it up, when we're talking about those blocks, make sure that you set up time for before and after stream. If you're just running up to your stream and you're starting it, again, that doesn't give time for your brain to catch up and be like, what are we doing now? Are we changing? Are we not changing? What was I talking about before? Was I doing before? If you give yourself that buffer of space and time to get yourself into a new mindset, you can kind of create that mental block out of your schedule of, now this is going to be streaming time. Actually, life hack, the same thing works for sleep. A lot of people that I know, including myself, have trouble with sleep. And the only thing that's helped me, the only thing that's helped me is creating a wind down sequence before bed. So I stop touching my phone 20 minutes before, I start brushing my teeth, I take a shower, I do things that relax me so that by the time I'm ready to go to bed, my brain is like, system initiated sequence shut down. 3, 2, 1. It's exactly like that for your streaming, but you want a rev up sequence. So you want to get yourself excited for stream, and then you want to wind yourself down after stream. And some people wind down actually by hanging out with friends after stream and just playing and relaxing in a non-committal kind of way. And some people wind down after stream by watching silly YouTube videos, or getting inspired, or getting ready for their next show and researching stuff for, for tomorrow's episode. Whatever that might be, figuring out your rev up and wind down sequence, whatever they are, and giving yourself time to do them, once again, is going to make a huge difference. By the way, we have other videos on that, on how to prepare for stream and how to feel after stream, so be sure to check them out. Be sure to check out other Streamloots Strong videos. We have a lot more coming, so check those out to start, and stick around for the rest of this one. So I know I kind of briefly touched upon this, but I really want to emphasize for our last point that it is super okay to give yourself yourself permission to be human. What, Em? That's not what you said before? Well, what I said before is it is okay to give yourself space and time that you need and set up boundaries. What I meant was, if you need to be human, if you need to take time off, if something happened to your beloved pet and you had to run them to the vet and then you came home and you were just so stressed out and tired you cannot imagine yourself sitting in front of a camera and talking to 20 people, give yourself space to do that. Especially so I live with ADHD, depression, anxiety, and panic attacks can take a lot of energy out of you. And so I know when I've had a panic attack during the day, it is going to be very hard for me to get energy back up to stream. That is not the kind of standard that I want to set for myself for stream. I want to be energetic. I want to be excited. That's what I enjoy. That's how I enjoy streaming. And so if I know I can't do that, if I know something happened in the day that prevented me from doing that, I will take a step back and maybe cancel stream. And you'll notice I don't cancel stream a lot. I don't. But I also have a very lenient schedule. I only stream 2 times a week. Do I have the biggest growth numbers? No. Am I Tim the Tatman or Ninja? No. Am I okay with that? Yes. I also have a 9 to 5. I also do freelance work. I also do research work. I also would like to spend time with my family. And so streaming has to fit in with all of those things that I'm already doing. If streaming is not your full-time job, like it is for me, it is 110% okay to give yourself space to do it in a way that is enjoyable to you, whatever that might be. And if streaming is your full-time job, well, you're your own boss. So set a schedule that works for you. What is the point of not working for the big guy, right? And not working for corporate if you're just gonna force yourself to adhere to rules that somebody else made up? You get to make up the rules. If you're a full-time streamer, you get to make up the rules. You make your own schedule. You get to decide what happens. And that means you get to be nice to yourself. I know, it's wild. Anyway, I hope this helps. I hope always, as always, we are here to listen to feedback. So let me know if you set a schedule for streaming in a different way. If you feel pressured in some way or another to have a set schedule for streaming that just doesn't work for you. Let me know about all of those things. If you have a disability that prevents you from streaming at specific times, I want to hear all about it. I want to hear all about your experience. So leave those comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe. I already said comment twice. I know. But like, subscribe, do all the things, ring that bell, and I will see you next time. But in the meantime, please know that Streamloots is there for you every step of the way. I'll see you soon. Bye. Mwah.